So we went, because we always gave blood if we could. So went down, all four of us worked from 11 till 6 in the morning, and we get down there at 7 or 8, hadn't eaten anything for 8 hours. Bam, bam.
You all fell over?
3 of us did.
Really? Huh.
Yeah, I say eat before you come, and that, well, there's something to that.
Yeah.
That's funny. He says, when these guys eat last? He says, so we ate about 10:30, coming down to work. Well, don't bring them over here if they're going to eat that stuff. They had to resuscitate all of us.
So we never did get any blood out of you.
Yeah, we did.
We did?
Yeah. We were unconscious as easy.
Yeah, they were having blood donations when we were in basic training, and they took and drove us like 5 miles or they actually force marched us with full packs about 5 miles from camp. And then once we got out there, they said, anybody wants to donate blood, hop in this truck, we're going back to camp. The rest of you line up over here, we're going to march back. Everybody gave blood. Thank you, Bonnie.
In Vietnam, you could go to church if you wanted to and jump on a deuce-and-a-half truck, go to church, but they called it the hypocrite truck. Nobody really wanted to go to church, but they wanted
Get out of the field.
a place for an hour or two. It came out last night on TV. It's been top secret all these years, but Westmoreland, back in the Vietnam era, approved nuclear weapons, atomic weapons. They were going to use them on North Vietnam.
Really?
And it was all top secret because Johnson got wind of it, and he just says, forget it. And it finally came out after all these years. But Westmoreland was all for going nuclear during the Vietnam era.
Might get nice enough today. It would have been a good day to sneak off to the river for an hour or two. Huh?
Yeah.
One day before it gets cold, it's supposed to freeze, I guess. Hard freeze in another day
Is
or
it?
two. Yeah.
I'm ready.
Yep. So any plants you need to bring in, maybe you want to
Dealt
bring
with
them
them
in.
last weekend.
My 3 boys came up and they cut down all the rhubarb and
Asparagus.
jalapenos.
Everything.
Yeah, we cut it all down.
I guess I never cut my rhubarb. I just let it die naturally.
We can, but I had help.
I got
We never do either.
I got
This year we did.
2 different types of rhubarb. I got the little skinny ones. They're more reddish. And then I got those big ones. Remember I brought them in for popcorn. They're like 3 feet long.
Yeah, jumbo, yeah.
Yeah, those. My dad he started those. I don't know where he got the original plant from, but mine went to seed this year. So I don't know if the seed is good or not. But
It won't hurt them. It'll just propagate a little bit.
yeah, well I let them go to seed. I was kind of hoping maybe some.
You're going to have to take some in for Lynn, and they like rhubarb up there. Bring them in sometime and give them a bunch. We harvested about 11, 13 times this year. God, we harvested about every week.
Yeah, I brought popcorn in a number of times. And my wife's got like 6 plants behind her garage. She's got the real skinny reds.
Yeah.
And popcorn, he kind of like those. But he likes those big ones as far as cutting them up because you get a lot more volume for a lot less work,
He makes a really good cake.
He does,
yeah.
He made one yesterday to bring to some lady, her husband died, and he brought it over to her house,
Really
I guess.
You gotta tell them we still have room in our freezer for that. Bonnie will cut it up like when we harvest it. We'll cut it up in little bits and freeze it, and then cook it later on.
I used to like the sauce
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, I make
with heavy whipping cream.
No, I haven't made it with heavy whipping cream.
Well, yeah, I mean, just make the sauce, and then
Ice cream,
when you
ice
eat
cream.
it, put either ice
Oh,
cream or
okay.
heavy whipping cream
Yeah.
on it. Yeah, you don't cook it with it, but yeah, it's good.
I had a whole bunch of apples, so I made applesauce.
Oh God, did we have a lot of apples?
My grandmother used to have ground cherries. I don't know if you're familiar with those, but she would mix those sometimes in with raspberries and rhubarb together and make a sauce. And oh boy, was that ever good! And put
My mother used
heavy
to go
whipping
out.
cream on it when
The
you eat
hard
it.
part about the sauce is you had to pick them. The ground cherries.
Yeah, they're like little Japanese lantern
Yeah.
things. They're in the same family as nightshade, I guess, which is poisonous,
Oh yeah.
but they're not poisonous.
We used to go out and
Obviously.
pick at my grandfather's farm down in Iowa. Gooseberries.
Yeah.
Remember gooseberries?
Yeah, they're good.
Been years and years since.
Yeah.
They're yellow, aren't they?
Well, they're green. They start out green and then they turn purple, kind
That's
of
what I remember.
purple color. I think there are yellow gooseberries though too. I think there's both varieties.
No.
When they're ripe, they're yellow, but there's others that turn purple when they're ripe.
Well, I should take you home, pick up some hickory coffee.
Chicory, like we did on the
Yeah.
ditch along the road up by Wabasha. Yeah, that blue flowers, that's chicory, and you take the root and
he
you.
was telling me
And
that.
Lonnie said, oh, this is good, let's do this. So we did a
wa-
bunch, I brought it home, used it, and threw the rest away.
Yeah, it wasn't nothing to brag about. But I guess the cowboys used to use chicory in place of coffee when they didn't have coffee. They'd like char the roots and then they'd grind them up and make coffee with it. But it's not even close to coffee. It's not worth the effort.
Like putting toothpicks in your eyeballs,
Yeah,
hold them out.
not a good thing.
Are
Yeah.
you taking a video?
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah. I asked Dennis if it was all right. He said it'd be okay.
He was just thinking yesterday, he was up, I told you during most of the night, and so he was going through pictures, getting ready.
Well, pictures are nice, but it's nice to have some videos with
Yeah.
sound and stuff too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got some of my dad at home, and they're precious. I mean, to go back and watch those, it's amazing.
I got some with my father, because when we were just little kids, my mother insisted on buying a piano so that he could all take piano lessons, and none of us had any talent at all. And so my dad couldn't stand
That
the fact
happens a
that
lot with parents.
there was a piano around and nobody played it, so he learned. And he didn't read a note of music, but if he'd ever heard the song, he could sit down and play it, chords and all. So I have some great video of him.
Oh, really?
He eventually ended up getting rid of the piano and buying this big fancy organ that looked like the cockpit of a 747,
yeah.
and
Yeah.
he could play that. And so I've got a lot of video of that.
Yeah, my wife, she said actually, when we bought the house, there was a piano in it, and nobody's ever played it. She knew at one time. She took piano lessons. She knew, and she was going to go back and take more lessons, but she never did.
Yeah.
Now it's all full of these little precious moments,
Oh.
figurines and stuff, just
Oh, yeah.
covered with them.
My
My
wife has
sister played for
1,000
the
of
Sunday
those things.
school
I don't know what I'm
church
gonna do
for
with all
quite a
that
few
stuff.
years.
I don't know.
She just loves that.
She used to go and sit down and play
They're
at the piano and
expensive.
just play for an hour.
Do you go see her?
She enjoyed
Or
it.
does she
Yeah.
still hate you?
Some people are so
Yeah,
good.
she hates
I used to know this
But I
one
bring her
guy.
home
His
every
name was
Saturday,
Rick
whether she likes it
Markham.
or
He was
not.
from
Oh.
Wanamingo
She spends
originally.
a couple hours there.
That guy could play boogie
kids
woogie
and
and
the
stuff on a
dogs.
piano.
Yeah.
He'd have the whole
Yeah,
place
it's
rocking.
amazing.
Yeah. Boogie Woogie really gets
Thinks she
going.
thinks
Oh yeah, he really knew how to play it
She
too.
told me the other day she's going to find a
Andrew's
black
sisters,
man to
wasn't it?
marry.
Andrew's sisters.
Yeah.
Well, good luck.
Yeah.
Good luck. I think there's a black guy there that takes care of her. They're a good-looking young black Jamaican guy or something, and she's decided she likes black now. So
Because they're all sweet, yeah.
yeah, they're very nice to him.
Ready for another donut?
No, I just finished my
Mike?
breakfast and my toast and that.
Dig in. They ain't gonna
Shouldn't
get
have
any.
another one.
They ain't gonna get
Talking
any.
about my
They ain't gonna get any fresher.
No, that's,
No, boy, they were good the other day.
what is it? Is this just like a cinnamon roll? Or
That's just a
Yeah,
cinnamon roll
with
with
caramel,
maple
yeah,
frosting.
That's a lot. That's a bunch.
yeah, it
I
is.
could eat that whole.
You can skip lunch now.
Yeah.
Well, see, I was gonna ask you if you've learned how to cook yet. Apparently
actually-
not, you just need.
No, I'm actually learning. I'm doing a lot of YouTube stuff. I'm
gonna
learning
hold
how
the
to,
lid?
to fry stuff in a cast iron pan.
There we are.
Really?
And you can fix a lot of stuff
Oh,
in a cast
yeah.
iron pan.
One dish to clean, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
one
mean,
bottle?
you really-
Eating out of it,
You
too.
don't even
No, I
clean
don't
it really. You just
Yeah.
wipe it out and then put some oil on it to keep it so it doesn't
Yeah.
rust.
You know, we use, Lodge, fry pans.
Yeah, I love them.
And yeah, I do too. If you, cure them, you know what that is, where you put them in the oven with
Yeah, we
oil
have to-
around them
yeah, you
for
have to-
about an hour, 350
have to
degrees,
do
and
that
then they
with a-
set up.
Cast iron too.
And it's just like
They're just like
Teflon.
glass. Yeah, they're like glass.
Yeah, we got a couple that we've cured, and we do a lot of egg bakes and stuff like that.
I find them at Savers all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I,
Oh, I bet.
I bought a nice cast iron Lodge grill pan. You know, the one that you make steaks on and stuff.
Yeah,
I got one of those for $9 and some cents.
amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
I bought a big one that is about like this. We're going to do a fish fry up in Canada, so we need the big cast iron skillet, and I think I paid $80 for it.
Yeah.
But the damn thing, you can hardly lift it. Takes two
Yeah, I know.
men and a
Yeah,
boy to
yeah.
lift
I
it.
found
Yeah.
one in the basement that my wife must have had me put away years ago. I
Uh-huh.
don't even remember. But I'm sure she couldn't lift it because it's huge.
Way
Yeah.
here.
Yeah. The trick
I
is
gave
to
one-
season them good after you done using them. You know,
Yeah,
they can
They'll rust.
keep a good coat of oil on them.
Yeah.
I've recovered all kinds of rusted ones that look like they should be in the garbage.
yeah,
and
you can.
you can
recover
clean them
that.
up. I go in there with steel wool, stainless
Mm-hmm.
steel wool, and scrub the hell out of them. Put scouring powder in them, scrub them all down, and then put oil in them, like you say. And
Stick them in the oven for a
Stick
while.
I just put them right on top of the burner and just get them hot, you know. And once they start smoking and stuff. Sometimes you can take and bust a couple of eggs in there once they start smoking good and smash those into the surface too, and that'll kind of fill the pores.
Oh, really?
Yep.
I never did that.
Yep.
Yeah, we got cooking with them a few years ago. We really like them. I like making breakfast with them. Throw a couple of scrambled eggs in there, scramble them up, and throw some sausage and hash browns and onions and all that, and mix it all up.
Yep.
God, it's good.
Make a scramble,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fried
Like
potatoes.
hash. It turns out to be like hash.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, the other day, Bonnie put spam into egg bake like that.
Yeah.
Only thing is, she forgot the spam.
I
did.
I like Spam.
Yeah. it's
Spam's
good.
actually good keto food.
Oh,
Yeah.
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 I suppose.
It's full of fat, you know.
Yeah.
It's mostly fat, and there's
Yeah.
no carbs to it to speak of.
No.
It's all meat.
God, that's a big roll.
Yeah, they're nice, aren't they? They do.
Really good.
They do their rolls good.
They do.
Yeah.
At a Hy-Vee, you don't want to buy them one at a time. If you just buy them one at a time, each one's like $1.50.
Yeah.
If you buy a dozen, they give the whole dozen for nine something, $9.99.
Uh-huh.
Oh, really?
So it's cheap, it's less than $1 a piece then.
Wow.
So that's the way to do it.
Yeah.
I like hard-boiled eggs in the morning for breakfast.
We do that.
Bought this little thing for like $20 or $30, whatever it was. And you put 7 eggs in it. You just put a little bit of water in the bottom.
Yeah.
Sit
Egg
in the water,
poacher.
Yeah.
and you turn it on, and when the water all evaporates, it's done. It buzzes, and they're done. It takes like 10 minutes.
Oh, it's electric, huh? You plug
It's
it
electric. Yeah, you just plug it in,
in. Well, that's cool.
and when it gets the water's gone, then it makes some kind
I've
of.
seen the ones you put on top of the stove that are like
No,
that.
this is
Electric. Huh?
We have them in plastic and set them in the microwave for 50 seconds. And you go bing, 50 seconds, that goes off, and they're soft boiled then.
Perfect.
Yep.
I bought those eggies, you call them. You put the egg inside, and then you
Yeah.
drop them in boiling water, and you boil them,
Okay.
and you crack the egg into there, and then once you open it up, it's just like a boiled egg, and then you can cut them in
Save the
half
egg,
and make
yeah.
your deviled eggs. You don't have to peel them then.
Ah.
Yeah.
I gave them to my wife though, because I'll probably never use them.
What was
I
it
don't
that-
mind peeling.
I don't mind peeling.
Going camping up with my boy Bob up at Alexandria, and we were at a campfire and wanted to do egg bake or whatever. We took and dropped 2 eggs in
Those Ziploc bags.
Ziploc bags and put in some meat, and bacon or whatever, hash browns. Kneaded it up, got it all mixed up, threw in some onions and dropped in boiling water. The bag doesn't melt.
Perfect.
Yeah, about 3 minutes it's done.
Huh.
You got an omelet.
That's a
Yeah,
smart idea,
Yeah, it is real easy to do.
right?
And it's surprising that the bag does not burn unless you get it against the side of the pan,
Yeah.
So, but we made a whole bunch of, everybody did it, and no complaints.
when I'm done frying something and there's grease in the pan, I dump it into a Ziploc bag, and it
Uh-huh.
doesn't seem to break it.
Yeah,
Really, the hot grease?
Yeah, I just dump it right in there.
You think that would melt it?
Doesn't.
you would think
Huh.
it would, yeah.
I usually let it cool a little bit, and then I pour it in like a used mayonnaise jar or something that I've washed up, and
Oh, yeah.
I keep it in the refrigerator then.
These are freezer
Used
bags.
bacon
Maybe
grease
freezer
is the
bags are
best
tougher.
thing.
Maybe a little
Cooking anything.
Pyrex type thing, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I was real surprised you guys brought all those guys out with you the other day. I figured 1 or 2 would come out.
I didn't think we'd get that many to come.
Didn't
But-
either.
Yeah, we all sat. 5 of us sat in my car. It's a big car, but the sitting in the middle.
That's comfortable. His car rides like you're on a cloud.
Gordy's funny.
Very
How
nice
you doing
car.
there, Daryl?
How many speakers you got in that thing?
19 of them.
19
19
speakers.
speakers.
It's a 950 watt stereo. It's a Harman Kardon system. Cost me an extra.
Sounds like you're in a
$2,000.
concert hall.
Oh, you never have to turn it up at all, but it's got all this power.
The popcorn is still here after that?
Yeah, well, I hardly had it turned on at all. But
Yeah.
I'm just saying, if you're by yourself and you like tunes, it's
Yeah.
like going to a concert. Just crank it up.
Is that what you drive during your job?
Well, I drive to work now because I can't ride the scooter. It rains
No,
every day.
they give him a company car to drive.
Yeah,
Really?
I drive a little
You're making more money and you get a company car.
brand new company car.
Brakes work, windshield wipers and everything?
Kia, right?
It's a Kia Soul, ugly little car, but they're fun to drive. They really are fun.
They are kind of funny looking though.
They're funny looking.
Little
yeah.
boxy
See 'em
little
all over
thing.
town. The
Is
one that
it
we
fun to
have-
drive?
Yeah, they're fun to drive.
Yeah.
And the one that I drove for Gold Cross, now that I'm with a new company, but that one had 500,000 miles on it.
The
Wow.
steering, is that pretty responsive then? Or
Oh yeah,
is it like rack and pinion, or is
I
it actually
suppose.
power steering?
It's power steering, but it's rack and pinion power steering.
Yeah.
But it's got get free satellite radio in there.
Oh, really? They got Cirrus radio for you?
Well, for 3 months because they're brand new
Oh,
cars.
okay.
yeah.
After that,
Yeah.
Then you
Good
start
luck.
buying it yourself.
But they really offer, if you just keep ignoring them or saying no,
Yeah,
Right.
they really
Come
give you a
down
good
and
price.
$5 a month or something.
do you guys have it or?
It came with our car,
Yeah.
but
It's
I don't.
nice.
I'd like to listen to books on tape when I'm driving, so
Yeah.
I'm not interested in Cirrus. He likes Cirrus. They have an Elvis station. And
Yeah. Oh, I like his
Old
oldies. He got
radio
good
and-
oldies.
Yeah.
Some of the old,
60s.
yeah,
Yeah, they have
Sometimes
60s,
I listen to
70s,
elevator music,
80s,
just depends
90s.
upon my mood.
yeah.
There's a
Yeah.
channel called Escape.
There was
It's just
many
like
channels.
KNXR from years ago.
John Doremus, I used to love listening to him. He had such a good radio voice.
Oh,
It's
you know
mostly
something,
musicals.
something funny when we were over in New Zealand. We were driving around and we drove around this one place, it was up on a mountainside looking down on was it Auckland or something like that? Wasn't Auckland, out in the boonies. And they said Shania Twain came by and she wanted to buy that farm. And she wanted to build a house over there. And the guy went up and asked him, says, how much you take for your farm? He says, it's not for sale. Ha, ha, ha. So the guy left. He said, I'll be back in a week. Find out what you want for it. So he came back and he said, well, it appraised real estate taxes were $5 million or something like that. But it's not for sale. Ha, ha, ha. You know. Week later, he came by again. Same guy, you know, buying realtor for Shania Twain. What they ended up at 17 million or something like that.
Huh.
She bought the farm.
She's a babe.
Yeah, I like her songs too.
Yeah, I guess she did.
Yeah,
she just
that too.
she just come out.
She can sing too.
She just come out against the president. I guess now.
Who,
Did she?
Trump?
Shania Twain came out against.
It wasn't Shania Twain. It's the other young teeny bopper.
Or who was it?
What's her name?
Marley Cyrus.
No, no,
No, it wasn't her.
no. The tall blonde gal.
What is her name?
Kids really like her a lot. I can't think.
Maybe it wasn't Shania.
Is that the vegetarian one?
I don't know. She's got lots and lots of money. She's a young person, and she's just trying to get people to vote.
Yeah, I forget. Forget.
I don't
who
think
it
she's
was.
a Trump fan. I think she's trying to get people.
No,
to vote
she was
the other way.
anti-Trump. This
Yeah,
one.
I think so.
I thought it was Shania Twain.
No, I can't think.
Well, Trump is still checking them off, isn't he?
Yeah.
Right down the line.
Yeah.
He's the most dedicated person for checking off things he wants. Damn wall's gonna go right through the yard here.
I guess they've already started out in Texas.
Have they?
They've got some of it up already.
Samples.
Yeah, just little sections. I think.
I suppose you got to start on the most problematic areas, you know. First, you know,
Yeah.
the high risk points, because some of it's probably so open they can watch it easy, but from air.
Some places are impossible, of course. By the Rio Grande, I guess you can't build a
Well,
bridge.
a couple of nuclear arms will take care of that.
He came back.
All they need is a big laser up there with motion detector on it, and
Yeah.
everything
He comes and
gets
runs all over the
and
carpeting, and he's got to do
everything that gets within the laser gets zapped.
Yeah.
Yeah, you wouldn't need to build a wall.
That'd slow them down, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
A big laser. Oh, there's another one, crispy.
Well, this heat sensing stuff that they can see from the air.
The hot
can see
tomato.
it.
Flare, they call it. Yeah, they can fly over in total darkness, and they'll see these little white dots and people running.
Blow 'em away, yeah.
Yeah,
Have you
it's-
ever seen I'm sure you have on YouTube or video where they show a caravan driving along and the third car has a white thing in it and they take out the third car. That's the
Right.
guy.
Yeah. Yeah,
It's-
they got it
They're just
computerized now.
Yeah. And some 18-year-old girl sitting in Texas doing it.
yeah.
Joystick.
That's what blows my mind.
Like a
is
video
that
game.
there's no time lag at all. It's how do they do that so fast?
Yeah.
Lasers
But I mean,
instantaneous, yeah.
Speed of
You gotta
light,
get the
you know.
signal back from over there. You know, if you're flying a drone over,
But speed of light, 256,000
I guess
miles a
that must be
second.
it because there really is no time
Yeah.
lag.
Right.
Yeah, some young kid just
Yeah.
flying this drone.
Got another one.
Well, we used to go fishing up at Red Wing, and they had those big barges with the big steel lids, and you'd watch them drop the lid, and you wouldn't hear the sound for, because sound travels so much slower than the speed of light, so you'd see the thing fall, but you wouldn't hear it bang for like half,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
a
It's like
number of
when we were-
seconds later.
When we were shooting in Africa, you'd hear, you'd shoot and then plunk.
Right,
You'd hear hit the animal.
Hear the fat
right,
hit.
right. Hear the thud when
Yeah,
it hits. Yeah.
Bang. Thud.
Yeah, those
And the two
308s,
people we were
those
hunting with-
308s are pretty
Well,
devastating.
mine never hunted with high-powered rifle before, but two other people,
Or a
they
skull.
never heard
Isn't it
of
funny that
thud
you
before.
that you really don't
go to bang
when you
and
shoot
thump,
an animal
you know.
like that, you really don't feel the recoil so much
Well,
because
no.
you're so
In Vietnam, they were shooting
intent
down
on what you're
howitzers.
shooting
Yeah.
that it kind of
Right over
distracts
my
you
head.
from the
Yeah.
because they'll
All the
kick
time.
pretty hard,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I
They
don't.
could shoot 40
Yeah.
miles.
but it,
you know,
it doesn't
so you hear
register
the gun go off.
because you're thinking about what
And
you
then you
just
see the
did. you know?
Yeah,
flash.
yeah,
Seconds
That's
later. I
true.
don't know.
yeah.
I've got a
And then you
really
get the
nice
sound
308.
once after
do ya?
that.
Yeah, M1A. It's the same as a military M14, except it doesn't have the full automatic because it's not legal. But that's a really accurate. It's got a match barrel on it. I can shoot 200 yards and hit a turtle that big around at 200 yards. It's got a
If you can see it.
20
Yeah.
power. It's got a
If you
20.
can
It's
see
got a 20 power scope on it,
Uh-huh.
so you can zoom right in on them.
Yeah, I know. I spent a couple hours in the
Practice?
blind
Yeah.
practicing.
You know?
Mhm.
Good idea. If you're gonna hunt game, you really need to practice. Some
Yeah.
people think, "Oh, I could hit it."
No.
Well, you go out there and wound a bunch of animals, then they're out dying in the brush, and you don't know where they're at.
We went out and we sat over looking for a warthog. We were going to shoot a warthog, and Bonnie was holding a gun in a
Good
blind,
coffee.
and she was shooting, aiming, mock dry firing at twigs and birds in the trees. Just getting calibrated on it.
Right.
Zooming in on them.
And
Yeah.
then when she got ready to shoot the rifle, actually out the ostrich, then she's comfortable.
Yeah, learn how to breathe too, so
Yep.
your
Yeah.
breathing is right, so you don't.
Yeah,
Where'd you aim on the ostrich? Where'd you try to get it?
in the hip.
In the hip?
Yeah, the
Where the
leg.
shoulder is,
Take them
Because
down.
you want to break their legs.
underneath
Yeah.
underneath the wing.
Hmm.
You ever
He
caught
showed
an
me
old chick
a
on
skeletal
farm, they got
structure of it
bald
on his
skin
phone.
underneath
Yeah.
there. There's
So I could tell.
the shoulders under there, and you wanted to break that shoulder, then they would drop.
Hmm.
Said
Did
if
he-
you don't break the shoulder, they'll run 700
Now,
yards.
did you go up and finish them off then, or did they do that?
He did it.
Okay.
As it was
It was-
going.
There's this whole big mass of feathers,
Yeah.
and you haven't got any idea where to shoot it to
Yeah.
get it in the heart.
Yeah.
So yeah, he did it.
Oh, did they actually reshoot it, or did they
Yeah.
cut the throat? Or
No, he actually
okay,
reshot it
because I shot it.
because it was sitting there alone.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
One of our kids thought we should have had a red
Poor
light
guy.
on that. Red green light, so it go like that. We could have it mounted up.
Yeah.
Have the eyes light up, huh?
Yeah, wink at you.
I shot a nice doe one time, and I was up in a tree stand. And I shot with a 3-headed broadhead, and I hit her right in the spine. I mean,
Oh,
she went.
poor guy.
Boom, right down.
I was aiming for the vitals, and she went down just as the bow twanged, and it got right between her vertebrae, and she just fell right over. She never moved an inch. And I come down out of the stand, and I had to go cut her throat, which
Yeah. I don't
Yeah.
like
put
cutting
it.
throats.
I don't either, but that was the quickest.
blood.
I had a really, really sharp knife, and it took care of her right now.
Isn't that what they do when they're getting pigs into the market? Don't they slit their throat?
Yeah,
How do they
bleed 'em
Yeah.
out. Yeah.
Well, usually they shock them.
first?
Yeah, and then they're
Paralyze 'em,
cut
yeah.
the jugular.
That'd be a hard place to work over here.
That way, you want the
Yeah,
heart
the
to
guys that work the kill line are a little glassy-eyed.
Yeah, you want the heart to stay beating so it pumps as much blood out of
Yeah.
the meat as you can.
You get about 3.5 pounds of blood per pig.
I
I
used to
worked,
do
So
some
what do they
research
do
on
with that?
pigs.
you dry it and sell it.
What do they do?
Fertilizer,
Yeah, plastics. There's a
Hey,
guy in
dog
backpacking,
food,
he was a
pet
blood
food.
sale.
Probably.
That's all he did, sold blood, hog blood. They killed 8,000 a shift. 16,000 for 2 shifts. Worked at Waterloo at Rat Packing, and that's all he did was sell blood.
Yep.
And they make plastics and something else.
You got more
Blood
coffee?
meal for
No,
Yeah.
gardens and stuff.
Yeah, and he rolled over in bed. He's a big guy. He's a lot bigger than me. He rolled over in bed one night and broke 2 ribs.
Huh.
He probably weighed 350, 400 pounds.
You're talking
Yeah.
about.
Broken
Pig
ribs
blood.
are no fun. I've had them.
I worked in research a lot, and we used to bring these big pigs up there at I think the 9th floor of the whatever building it was. Anyway, we were trying to develop a new cannula, arterial cannula for open heart surgery.
Mm-hmm.
So we had this big pig there, and they gave me some equipment that really wasn't I was used to using. It was just a big old reservoir and a couple other. Anyway, so they plugged up all my vents. You need to vent this blood to be able to get it out and put it back in. And the whole machine just exploded.
Ah,
There was pig blood everywhere. I mean, I never had an accident like that at all ever with
Yeah.
humans, but that was one of my worst days because.
oh,
They
cleaned it
blamed
all
me,
up.
but it wasn't me. They kept taking away my vents, plugging in IVs and stuff, and
Yeah.
so the thing couldn't breathe, and it couldn't get any blood off, but it kept putting it back. And
On Thanksgiving Eve, 1976. He goes, I got a call from Bonnie. Lance is in the hospital, and he had a reaction to penicillin. His hair was coming out in clumps out of his head.
Ooh.
And he had a staph infection in his hand, and he wasn't making any, white blood cell was not fighting anymore, and they said, we're going to have to give him a white blood cell transfusion. And I was O positive, he was A positive, she was negative, so I was gonna be the donor to do it. So I drove up from Waterloo, laid down the table, and they take it out of one arm, and they put it under pressure in the other arm to put it
Centrifuge it.
back in. So every time they got down to close to 2 units out of me, I go into shock. I haven't eaten anything.
It's phoresis is what they do.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm O positive too.
yeah.
Yeah, so am I.
that,
Most of us are, I guess.
yeah. Anyway,
Oh,
he
positive?
came in one day,
Oh, really?
and this woman
I'm
heard the
the-
bang,
I'm the
walked in,
eyeball.
and this
A
unit
negative?
of blood
Hey, now, well,
exploded
then you're universal, so
in
that
this
should
room.
work.
And
Oh,
was
because of the
cry-
pump?
Because he put too much pressure on the bag. And she was crying. She said, I can't work here anymore. I just got hurt these people, and I blow up all this blood and all that. And it was just all over the room. He said it looked like it's been painted in blood, the whole room. It just goes everywhere.
But you would actually pass out when they were doing that?
I
He
get
hadn't
kinda
eaten
dizzy.
anything, and he'd driven up from Waterloo.
Huh.
So yeah.
But yeah, they did.
Don't they usually give you like orange juice or something or other and
Yeah, they did later.
sweet rolls and whatever?
After.
They did later.
Right.
If you
Not
actually
before.
give some
Right.
blood, then they'll give you something.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, they did 4 units that way.
Huh.
And I said, how many days can you do that? And he says, 4 days, but you'll never make it.
Huh.
Yeah, they have people that have a certain kind of blood that's pretty rare, so they do
Yeah.
this phoresis thing,
Yeah,
and they take it out of one arm. And you can come in like every second day and get more. I guess.
yeah,
And they pay you pretty good for that. At least they did in those days.
yeah. They, I went in and gave some platelets a few times. That's 3.5 hour thing. And pumped that back in.
Yeah.
White blood cell trans
So they give you back your
your regular blood.
regular
yeah.
blood.
So they don't have to worry about infection or reaction because it's your own. So they just fire it
Right.
back in under pressure.
My wife worked in components where they did all that separating out the blood components.
I can put this on a DVD for you guys later.
Can you?
Yeah.
That would be good.
Yep. Yep. Good to have on hand.
And you can't use it in court.
I'm not going to court. Hopefully. As far as I know.
That's good rolls. Damn.
You want another one?
Oh, but you thought I couldn't finish that.
You want another one?
No.
Whatever's left, I'm leaving here, so you guys can do what you want with them.
Well, I got a company coming today.
If you want to freeze them, or if you want to just eat them, or whatever. They do freeze too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, they don't. They usually are gone.
Yeah, they usually get
Yeah.
eaten first. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I had one left on Saturday from the last batch.
Yeah.
Yeah. You cut it up. Just kept chopping up.
Yeah.
A little. You know, if you eat just a little bit, it's not as much.
Yeah, I almost feel guilty feeding donuts to people because I don't eat them. You know, it's like
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should be ashamed
Like-
of yourself.
Yeah, you should.
like feeding people my poison. You know.
Whatever.
Horrible person.
I told Bonnie this morning. I said I didn't
Keep
think
it up.
hospice was anything like this. I thought it'd be comatose, and that, but had not been bad. I got no pain again this
Yeah,
morning.
they must have you
Well,
on
I
the
hope
right
they're all.
dose of
I hope they're all
everything.
wrong. I
Yeah.
hope they're all wrong, and you go into remission. I really do.
Yeah.
I really do. You know, my dad, he went through chemo, and he got 15 years after his chemo.
Did he?
Yeah, but he felt like he was going to die during it. He said it was the worst thing he'd ever went through, and he said if he ever had to go through it again, he'd rather die first.